Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Let's Read the Bible. And we're on Genesis chapter 5 today. So let's get inside the verse. Genesis chapter 5, the descendants of Adam. This is the book of the generations of Adam. In the day when God created man, he made him in his likeness of God. He created them male and female, and he blessed them and named them man in the day when they were created. When Adam had lived 130 years, he became the father of a son in his own likeness according to his own image, and he named him Seth. Then the days of Adam after he became the father of Seth were 800 years, and he had other sons and daughters. So all the days of Adam lived were 930 years, and he died. Seth lived 105 years and became the father of Enosh. Then Seth lived 870 years after he became the father of Enosh, and he had other sons and daughters. So all the days of Seth were 912 years, and he died. Enosh lived 90 years and became the father of Kenan. Then Enosh lived 815 years after he became the father of Kenan, and he had other sons and daughters. So all the days of Enosh were 905 years, and he died. Kenan lived 70 years and became the father of Mahalalel. Then Kenan lived 840 years after he became the father of Mahalalel, and he had other sons and daughters. So all the days of Kenan were 910 years, and he died. Mahalalel lived 65 years and became the father of Jared. Then Mahalalel lived 830 years after he became the father of Jared, and he had other sons and daughters. So all the days of Mahalalel were 895 years, and he died. Jared lived 162 years and became the father of Enoch. Then Jared lived 800 years after he became the father of Enoch, and he had other sons and daughters. So all the days of Jared were 962 years, and he died. Enoch lived 65 years and became the father of Methuselah. Then Enoch walked with God 300 years after he became the father of Methuselah, and he had other sons and daughters. So all the days of Enoch were 365 years. Enoch walked with God, and he was not, for God took him. Methuselah lived 187 years and became the father of Lamech. Then Methuselah lived 782 years after becoming the father of Lamech, and he had other sons and daughters. So all the days of Methuselah were 990 years, and he died. Lamech lived 182 years and became the father of a son. Now he called his name Noah, saying, "The one will give us rest from our work and from the toil of our hands arising from the ground which the Lord has cursed." Then Lamech lived 595 years after he had become the father of Noah, and he had other sons and daughters. So all the days of Lamech were 777 years, and he died. Noah was 500 years old, and Noah became the father of Shem, Ham, and Japheth. And that will conclude chapter 5. Let's go inside the text. So there's a couple of points that I want to look at in this chapter. We've gone through where we've seen there's several people that are been born at this point in time, and now we're at the point where Adam has died, and he died at 930 years old. And that, with our average life expectancy nowadays, I think for men is 72. 900 plus years, it's just hard to believe, but it gives reference here to let us know these are literal years marking unusual length of life which are accounted for by the pre-flood environment provided by the earth being under a canopy of water, filtering out the ultraviolet rays of the sun and producing much more moderate and healthful conditions. So you're seeing just an obvious stark difference in the earth itself. And also inside this chapter, there was a long listing of where it mentioned that everyone died. And then we get our first break from that, where it's talked about Enoch and that he walked with God and God took him. It says Enoch is the only break in the chapter from an incessant comment, and he died. Only one other man is said to have enjoyed this intimate relationship in walking with God, and that was Noah. Enoch experienced being taken up to heaven alive by God, and the only other person later that we'll find out that did that is in 2 Kings when we learn about Elijah. So Adam is passed on, and Enoch is the first to not die and to be taken with God, taken by God. And Methuselah, his son, is now bore Noah. And Noah is stated by Methuselah is that this is the one that will give us rest. Comfort and rest would come through a godly life of Noah, who's heir of righteousness, which is according to the faith. So Adam has already passed away. Enoch has been taken, did not die, and we're seeing that Noah was born. And that concludes the text for chapter 5. Hope to see you back in chapter 6.